What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is July the 29th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some hot movers and what big money is really focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, JOLT numbers is coming out at 9 a.m. and the reason why that one's going to be a big one to watch for is because Powell mentioned he's going to be really looking at labor data to justify rate cuts. Not for tomorrow's meeting, but essentially for the following one, assuming he's still in his position and his role. But aside from the JOLT numbers, we have consumer confidence coming out at 9 a.m. Current forecast for that is 95. So kind of just watch for that. Aside from these data points, it's going to be most likely Trump kind of as well talking on if there's going to be any updates to the Europe deal, and as well companies unveiling the earnings. That's what is going to really move the market for today. Aside from that though, things are looking pretty good. Dow is up 0.16, S&P 0.26, NASDAQ up 0.53. Getting right to it, SoFi is in the green today because of a triple beat. So they did beat on earnings per share, came in at 8 cents. Revenue, they did beat by 53.64 million, so came in at 858, and then they also did raise future guidance to 31 cents for earnings per share. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and I do believe that the conference is going on right now, so hopefully we'll have some further updates for that. But even with the revenue, I want to bring this to your attention. So it came in at 858. Even the most bullish analysts that did give a estimate for SoFi felt roughly around 821 million for the revenue was the high. And so that's crazy. SoFi blew that out of the water. So I'd be very, very surprised if SoFi does pull back today based on everything. But then again, shorts like to manipulate. Right now, they're not doing anything in the pre-market, but logically, I would say that they would be kind of returning today. That would be the logical thing, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We've seen this happen before where SoFi is very green and then it goes red. But nonetheless, I don't think anyone could really argue with these stats. This is phenomenal stuff. But aside from that though, with it at 2307, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 2324 is going to be that key pivot to ideally close above today. And if so, then realistically you could see that 2546 hit next. But regardless, today's going to be a new 52-week high for SoFi. Moving on to the next one, BMNR. So they are down slightly, and that is because of them issuing a S3. Not a significant amount. It's only 43 million shares, but at the end of the day, I think just Wall Street, including myself, absolutely hate to see this type of action play out. So you have a stock that gains a little bit of momentum. Well, I guess more than a little, because it had a high of $161, but nonetheless, stock that gains momentum and then the management decides to dilute. I get it, companies need money, but this is the biggest kind of momentum popper out there at whatsoever. They did, although, try to do some damage control because during the after hours it was going down quite a lot. I think it was sitting at like 28, but they did announce a 1 billion stock buyback. So kind of interesting. It's working. It's really confusing Wall Street and causing people to buy it up. But essentially, them announcing a 1 billion buyback and also diluting, logical investors see some clear issue with that. But 21.6% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 6.54 million shares. If you're looking at trading it with a 31.31, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So most likely, in my opinion, is just going to be wedge bound between these 2 points. I don't see either of them being touched. So 35.69 being the next strong target, 24.06 being the next strong support. And moving on from here though, ticker is LIDR. It is up in the pre-market and no news from them, no SEC filings. So most likely it is in the green because of yesterday's overreaction sell-off, potentially, because they did put out news, caused a hell of a lot of volatility. But nonetheless, though, I think it was a little bit more of a unjustified pullback because of that. So I think you're seeing it move higher. But nonetheless, this is another momentum stock that you need to kind of just be somewhat watching over. But right now, 29.48% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 5.36 million shares. With it at 412, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. 360 is going to be a strong support, and then 526 followed by 629 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Reason why I mentioned two of them is because, as what we've seen in the past, this stock is very volatile and can easily go up with a little bit of inflow of capital. So again, this is going to be a day trader's kind of dream. Moving on from here, tickers FULC. So they are down about 16%. They did put out quite a lot of things. So they started off with this yesterday after hours, so saying that they're going to present some data and so forth. Then they also this morning did announce their Q2 earnings, the results, and gave a business update. So at the end of the day, that's what is really causing this to go down during the pre-market. As far as shorts, 19.9% of the free float's being shorted, so I don't really anticipate them to be that active. Most likely they might take advantage of this sell-off and actually do return, free up some available shares, because it does look as though that they were rather overextended going into today. One thing to take note of, though, is there is a clear sign of naked shorting occurring, because shares on loan, 1.5 million, and then 4.92 million shares being shorted. So math doesn't math. There's more shares being shorted than on loan. So this, again, you might see shorts return a little bit, which would add a unique opportunity, because by them returning, they would be adding buying pressure. So right now, with it at 671, it is trading between these 2 points, so this pivot and this S1. 641 is going to be a strong support, so if you're wanting to dollar cost average, day trade, or whatever else, maybe just orient towards there, or even the 607. Flip side, 695, 750, and then 783 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. So anticipate a lot of volatility once the market does open. And then last but not least, this ticker ZOOZ Power, it is down about 15%. What was very unique about this is it was surprisingly green, and they did put out news, and it was dilution, but it was for the purposes of building a Bitcoin treasury reserve. So kind of an inverse type of weird way of thinking, but it was tricking the market, because aside from pretty much 5 minutes ago, this was in the green. So you can kind of even see that based on this as well. Actually, on a side note, so with that 291, it is trading currently between this pivot and this S1. So $1.93 is going to be a strong support, and then 311 is going to be a next strong target / resistance. So just watch for that 311 to be that key pivot. But nonetheless, you can kind of see right here that it was very much in the green, had a high of 475. So it's only just recently starting to pull back. As far as it being heavily shorted, they're not going to be a big deal. So 0.84% of the free float is being shorted. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other stocks that's kind of floating your boat? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for a lot of buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.